Good morning.
Backyard hanging it.
Huh?
Welcome to the backyard hang.
We're hanging out in the
But here's the
backyard.
thing. What are we doing? What's happening? The wheels are off.
No, the
Nothing's
wheels-
ever. It's never been like this.
That's the vibe. No wheels, all axles. That's our look.
That's your no gas, all brakes.
Yeah.
Wait.
No wheels.
No, wait. All gas, no brakes.
Yeah. No wheels, all axles.
No gas,
baby.
all brakes. That's different.
Oh, it's
That's
a
butt
different-
sex.
It's a different, different
We
vibe.
got to pay extra. A toll booth, 3 axles.
Should we light that citronella candle and put it on the ground?
Yeah.
To avoid mosquitoes.
Yeah, why is that just now
Yeah,
coming
so
up
just-
after I sat down?
We should put it on the ground. But will Darwin catch on fire?
I don't think she'll catch on fire.
She can deal with it because
She's a dog. You know, she's got like a natural sense about what to do about fire.
I'm sick of leaving here with 25 new mosquito bites, looking like a polka dot pair of underwear every time I take my pants off. I mean, it's ridiculous what's happening.
I got a lot of mosquito bites on me right now.
How
And
far are those mosquitoes getting up your pants?
They're crawling. They're crawling. You know what the fuck of it is? They're biting me through my pants and my socks,
Oh
and they
my
just don't even
gosh.
care about covered
What strong
body parts.
noses they have.
Very strong.
Poking through your jeans.
They got steel pipe noses. I don't know if that's
Man,
true.
you ever think about wearing real baggy jeans? They probably couldn't get you if you had some jeans
That's in.
on.
That's in right now, guys.
Yeah.
Guys in baggy jeans?
Get real
Everyone in baggy
jeans.
clothing
No.
is in right now.
I'm not seeing guys in baggy clothes.
Well, you're not hanging out in the right spots. I'm telling you, the hip, cool
No.
people, it's loose fitting,
cool right now?
shapeless
Mhm.
clothing.
If you want to look at something like outfit wise,
Timothy Chalamet, take a stroll.
here's the
Take a
thing.
It's
look.
pretty cool.
You're going fringe, I think, because I feel like
Huh?
he probably dresses like a Tim Burton character, and I'm not even sure if I know who he is, but it just has that sound.
Timothy Chalamet, he's it, my man. He's it
But
right
he probably is like a Harry Styles, where he's not wearing a shirt under a jacket.
now. Yeah, he's a cool
He's
guy.
Just wearing like a bra
That's
for
not
a
where
shirt.
it comes from.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you want like Kevin Hart, like somebody that's like gonna wear it. That's a little cooler than you. Like we could never pull off.
Why'd you have to make the first example you chose black that I have to push back on it? Like, can't be a black guy. You know, now
Wow.
I feel weird about that.
I don't.
You're just
I mean,
a
I guess
cool
I
guy.
just don't divide it. That's just the name that popped up.
I just couldn't. It felt
So
racial.
do you
now,
want
all
to
of a
just
sudden.
do this by color of skin? I don't even
No.
understand what you're talking about right now.
No, it felt like you're putting me in a
You
weird
know
spot
how
where I had to
white
push
people have
back
different
on that.
clothes than black people do.
Hey, Alex, your Ohio was showing.
No, get out of here. Get out of here.
I didn't even until you said it. I don't even know what the fuck. I was, honestly, I was like, this is probably a bad example because he's older.
He is old. It's a bad example because he's old, but I'm
I guess
not
he's
saying
old
he's a
and
bad
black
example.
to
I'm saying
you.
you're putting me in the position of now I have to come
How
out
old is
anti-Kevin
Kevin Hart? I mean,
Hart.
he's like my age.
But you don't
I
have
think.
to.
I have to. His position I carved out for myself.
Oh my god,
Also, he doesn't fit
this
into
is
the.
worrisome.
He doesn't fit into the
I
discussion.
feel like this is a different side of you.
What about Tom Holland? Tom Holland wear baggy clothes? He's a cool young.
Yeah, Tom Holland, I
white-
think, would be in my Timothy Chalamet
All
conversation.
right, so now do I have to name a black guy? Or
yeah,
can it
you've
just
carved out
be-
your lane.
No, I was gonna think. Who do you see
Stefan Urkel.
always on the cutting edge?
Stefan Raquel. Is that from Family Matters? Is he Cool Urkel?
Yeah.
Raquel was his last name?
Urkel.
What are you talking about?
Urkel. I never knew he had a last name. I knew it was
Did
Stefan.
you not watch it because it's a black family?
Not okay. Not okay. As a guy on record as we can't do those type of jokes, it's got to work both ways. It can't be a.
You're right.
can't
That's
be a
fair.
one-way
That's fair.
street.
That is fair. I
Yeah.
agree. I think we didn't need to clear the air though. That was I was sudden.
Huh?
It put me off. It off-putted me.
Well, you put me in a bad spot.
I
And then
it made
put us all
my
in a bad
heartburn
spot.
act up.
Heartburn.
But anyway, I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking of these. I'm trying to think of like someone who's the regular guy that's cool. Like he's like, I'm a regular guy. I'm thinking
you're
of like
Scott. You consider.
Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I'm saying I think your definition of what is cool is getting in the way of what is cool amongst the youths
Well, I was
right now.
The reason I'm saying it is because you can't go to the fringe because everyone's not fringing it up. Like, what is going to be
But I'm saying-
in like the middle school in your hometown in a few years?
That's what I'm saying.
is what's in the high school in Los Angeles will be in Ohio in 5 years. So what is in LA's high school right now? It's not fringe.
I'm telling you,
They're
it's
not
baggy,
fringe.
shapeless clothing. That's what's in right
And
now.
the kids?
I love
Yeah, dude.
ganging up on Alex more than anybody, but I think he might be right about this. I just saw one of my stepdaughters, 21 years old, They wear big baggy clothes they bought at the
Thank you.
thrift
Are we talking?
Thank you, Andy.
Here's the confusion. You're talking about girls, young girls, women, whatever. I'm saying
talking about-
us. All of our
I'm talking
examples
about-
were men.
No, I'm talking the youth movement. I'm talking about
But you
young
can't-
people, not
So
men or women.
the youth movement. Do you remember in the '90s where guys just wore those pants where their thongs hung out? That's what this feels like. There's not just
What?
youth. There's
What?
differences.
No.
Like guys aren't wearing what girls wear.
I'm not saying they're wearing the same pants,
You
but I'm saying
are.
the fashion style is not.
So when low-rise
it's-
jeans and
No.
mid-drifts hanging out was the style,
We're talking about
you're saying,
sizes.
oh, walk around.
I'm talking.
Meat's got his belly out in high school.
I'm talking sizes of the clothing, not how it fits, not what the actual article of clothing is. That's where you're getting in the weeds on
How
that.
it fits is tight and cut off at the midriff is the shirt that was in style for the young women in the 90s, early 2000s.
All I'm saying is Andy just
I'm
came
seeing
in.
parallels. I
boys?
mean, well, guys are wearing some midriffs too.
What?
Yeah, let your
I think
belly
anybody wears
breathe.
anything.
Let your belly
Ladies are
breathe.
wearing skinny jeans. Men started wearing skinny jeans.
What is the dudes like? I don't see kids. I don't see young dudes in the baggy clothes. I see the girls because I got a tiny one in there trying
I'm
to be a
telling you,
preteen
man.
wearing the baggy pants.
Get on TikTok. Start, hanging out
TikTok
around
fashion.
Barnes and Noble. I've been going to Barnes and
You spend a
Noble.
lot of time on TikTok fashion.
Barnes and Noble has become the high school hangout in Glendale, California.
What are they doing?
I
there?
don't
Are
know.
they
They
skipping
reading?
school?
It's wild.
They're skipping.
I don't think they're skipping because I'm not going there during school. It's like it feels like right when it lets out, everyone is going to Barnes and
Probably.
Seems
Noble.
like you're
I'll go in there
going
to
because of these high school kids.
I read books. Don't put me in this. You put me in a lot of bad spots so far in the podcast.
That is a good pooping place.
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
I think secrets out on Barnes and Noble being a good pooping place. I'll tell you the best pooping place, and I even hate
Public
to say
park?
this,
Behind the shed right here.
is the Capital One Cafe in Glendale, California. That's
Oh,
the
you've been on
number
that.
one,
You've been on that bathroom for years.
number one poop spot in Glendale, California.
You ever hung out with
Oh,
Alex?
no.
And he invited, like, you're kind of maybe on record as being a little particular and just wanting a regular coffee shop.
Uh-huh.
And then he just invites you to his bank to hang out.
It's not even my bank. I don't bank there.
We just went
Anyway.
one time. We're just like in a fucking
What is
bank
Capital
lobby.
One gonna have to do to get you in a checking account?
It's crazy how much one day I was in there, Andy. This place, Capital One Cafe, is bananas. I was in there one time just doing some work. They went around, they started handing out ice cream sandwiches to everyone that was in there.
Gosh.
Another time I went in there, there's handing out free swag bags. I got a Capital One Cafe water bottle,
That's how they get you.
a carabiner. There's a
I think
coffee
it's
shop. in
Caribou.
there. You know, remember that day they did the Maisel Day? Amazon did
Yeah,
Maisel Day,
yeah.
where it's like around LA, stuff costs the same that it costs in
I do remember
1950s.
that.
And you could look on a map, and it was like, these are all the places participating. I was in Capital One Cafe on Maisel Day, and they were not sanctioned participant, but they were participating. They were
they're
just like
in the spirit.
they were giving us stuff, and we were like, why? And they're like, is it Maisel Day? It's crazy. But I'm saying, if you want to take a shit, you're out in the
You
wild.
buy a house for $30,000.
Capital One Cafe.
What's the place that I don't want to say a place I don't like, but anyway, Alex is almost over on coffee shops.
No, I mix it up. I go to a lot. I see part of where I'm seeing these cool people at is these coffee shops. You got to go to cooler spots.
I will say, as we're talking about the pants, I am admittedly out of touch. I'm just not seeing it on the kids, the kids that identify as boys.
Check out these baristas.
Jesus, you really almost stepped in it there.
Check out these baristas. These people frequenting the coffee
This
shops.
is off topic, but on to Capital One. Is your money still in the place that you can't get it because it's only in Ohio?
The jar.
Yeah.
Buried in your parents'
Basically,
No.
when he's lived out here forever, I don't even know that's still the case. His bank was in Ohio. He couldn't deposit a check here or something. It's like,
I remember that.
I was very inconvenient. I remember a loyal customer to PNC Bank. When I moved out here, PNC, no locations past the Mississippi River. There's nothing. It was just, I handed it on my way out here in Arizona. I handed my card to a guy at a gas station, and he looked at it and went, "What is this?" I never even heard of PNC. Meanwhile, their name
has to know.
multiple.
There's a lot of context
stadiums.
clues there. I feel like we're giving this guy a little too much credit.
Is this for my birthday? Do I take this to the Best Buy? How much is on it?
So I still am a loyal customer, but now there are ATMs out. There's no physical locations. There is one in Palm Springs. I saw one in Palm Springs while I was
that's
there.
there.
You go.
Just
It's a
use
good
the
way to avoid
inch
the
and out.
fees.
But a little further peek behind the curtain is I got two banks. I got one I can't go to, and I can't give them my money, but they have it. And then the other one is a bank out here that that collapsed. It was First Republic Bank that was like, "Hey, we're not a bank anymore. We fucked up, dude." And so there was a second they got bought by.
Do you want to be a bank?
You got as much a shot as us. J.P. Morgan ended up buying them, and now it's a J.P. Morgan-owned institution. But for a second, there were two bidders, and the second bidder was PNC Bank. So for a brief moment in time, all of my problems would have been solved, where my banks would have consolidated, and I would have had a location.
Oh man, almost like the Parent Trap.
Just
But with
exactly
banks.
like the Parent Trap, but with
Oh, strike's over. Let's pitch it.
all the money. All my money. Well, guys, I got
Tommy.
to,
You mentioned it.
Oh, you just interrupted
it. I mean, people want to
Man,
know.
that was fun to watch.
We got a Hollywood writer on our hands. Strike's over. What'd you do to celebrate?
Yeah, what'd you do?
I didn't do anything to celebrate.
How's it feel to be a bad guy?
Tentative deal. Here's my worry.
Uh-huh.
If I'll do a real personal, specific to me opinion, I think a lot of people worked very hard in the negotiating committee, and I think that they did great. I think there's all these people out here picketing that haven't been able to earn money, bad spot, doing the work. All great people involved, but it does make me nervous because when we look at stuff like this, and it's like, you know, the career as a writer is threatened because of what these studios are doing, right? And this and that and yonder and whatever, and it's always like we're not getting enough residuals. There's only like 30% of writers that are earning enough money to get health care. There's all these things going on, but all of those exist under the umbrella of the previous deal and the deal before that. So like we've made deals as a guild that has allowed the studios to come in and do everything that they've been doing. So my worry is when you get a new deal, you're just locked into these things that I don't know if it's almost like the NCAA. Like you can't work backwards from paying the players zero. You have to like all things open. There's some tomfoolery and fuckery going on with these studios and streaming residuals and no residuals. The fact that before you'd write a show, and if it did well or didn't do well and it aired on that network, you'd get X amount of dollars. Then if they sold it to 25 countries, you'd get a small check times 25, and that would add up. That would add up over time. But now they give it to a streamer that goes all over the world, and you get a smaller check than if it re-aired once on the network. It's a real banana system, and I don't think that they fixed it. So I'm just kind of like, I hope it's okay.
Well, yeah, as of right now, as we sit here, we don't know any of the details, but I think they're coming out either tomorrow or the day after. So
yeah,
hopefully.
But even with the details, like the fact that they're like, we're just asking for, less than 2% of the profits. My mind is like, maybe we should have asked for more, because you're talking about like of the profits, and even getting them to admit how much they have values on shows and they know how much profit they're making, yada yada. But it's like, why won't they give us this amount? And that's all we're asking for, as opposed to like, should we have asked for like 6%?
So you're kind of more in the burn it all down, let's start a new society camp. Let's start over from scratch.
I would say,
I think
if you
need
give
to get
me
Tommy on this negotiating board,
if you
that's
give
what I
me
say.
10 scenarios, probably 9 of them I'm at burn it down, start from scratch.
Yeah, just across the board.
Across the board, we're talking societal, within my own home.
Yeah,
let's burn it down. Maybe we got a different system here.
There's got to be a better way. Well, so I guess nothing to celebrate is the answer there.
No, I think it's great that all this is going to end, and the actors are going to end, and people are going to get to go back to work. I'm, in a very fortunate situation. I'm grateful for that. The show I'm on, I've yet to hear different. It seems like it's going to come back pretty much right away. And
is it true that Danny Masterson's going to be on this season.
It is not. He's
Oh.
going to be.
What did I read? What is
30
I
that?
read something
years.
about him. I thought it was he was going to be back on the show.
I should start reading the articles. I just see headlines. I go, oh, he's going to be on the show.
If you guys rape someone or commit a heinous crime, I don't want you to think that I'm going to make a video. I feel like that's what's maybe happened throughout the fallout of that.
But
is
you
the
will
definition of friend has muddled a little bit.
But you will write a letter, is what you're saying?
I'm gonna here's as soon as they start doing it, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna move to the other side of the aisle.
Oh, wow.
What crimes will you back us on?
Yeah.
Okay, you can lay down
Victimless
no sex
crime.
crimes. I like that. No sex
Victimless
crimes.
crimes
But what if it's like
or revenge.
what if it's a revenge crime? Revenge crimes,
Revenge
okay?
Yeah, give me a specific.
Somebody came. All right, somebody.
Hey, first of all, in the specifics, don't make it a bad specific about someone we care about or kids.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's property damage.
What about financial, but I'm the bad guy?
yeah? Who'd you take
Financial
from?
crime.
I cleaned out a bunch of retirement funds. I really
No.
fucked some people.
If you said you committed like massive insurance fraud, I'd be like, he lives with me. We don't have the internet.
Yeah, but what? But
If you stole from old people, that's a good example. I'm not backing you.
no,
What
No.
about this?
I'm
Some
your
old,
bud.
old people. You know, they all say racial slurs.
yeah, these old people were bad.
Find me an old person that doesn't.
That's why I did it. Really get after it.
Yeah, but I would say, what would your victimless crime be?
Well, I wasn't saying victimless. I was gonna get like someone wronged me. You know,
you're going revenge.
I was wronged.
Mm-hmm.
I was wronged, and I went out and I got this guy.
What if
He
Andy?
got this guy. I find the guy that beat me up in Boston,
Oh,
and I find out where he is. You know, and I
Yeah.
find out he's just been all over town bragging. Still, years later, just like this is the greatest day of his life. He's watched my career skyrocket too. So he's just, you know, who I beat up, that famous comedian
I'd
from the
say-
backyard hang.
Also, sucker punch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Was
And I
more-
find him and I beat him, but I take it too far. I kill this guy on
Oh,
accident.
you've
Oh
killed
my god!
I kill him on accident. Yeah,
You Con Aired him?
but I get his body out in the harbor.
Here's the thing I don't love about it. If I'm going to starting with maybe the murder here, is in a revenge crime. I like it when you're either equal or just you're a little ahead.
Well, yeah, Andy.
You took it full murder.
Well, no, I mean Andy got pretty fucked up, so I think a little ahead is you kill the guy. I mean, I feel like that's like a little
Well, the
bit
thing
more.
is, he's not healthy, so I gave him a good beating.
What
a
about
normal
this?
healthy man would survive that beat.
What about this? Andy sucker punches the guy. All right, fair is fair, all even.
Wait, sucker punches is not fair.
But I'm saying Andy got sucker punched. Now he
Oh, he
sucker
sucker
punches
punches
the
him
guy.
back,
But that guy, just one of the best guys. Just a really fucking good
but
guy.
he's dead.
No, he's not dead. But
Oh.
Andy just really.
Oh
laid
yeah,
one
I got Andy on this one.
on. You got Andy.
Yeah,
on
Yeah,
that.
how's he a good guy?
He's the
You know,
Pope.
he's
He
walking
became
around punching
Pope.
people.
Yeah,
He's Pope John.
I don't know if you know this about Pope. Maybe not the best guy.
yeah.
Well, nah. I
I
mean,
don't know how you picked the Pope
Yeah,
there,
Circle back to the sex crimes
I'm
real
not
quick.
dude.
seen
I
anything.
walked by. This is not. Darwin
Lifted
picked up
weights,
a
Darwin?
metal baseball bat. Did you hear that?
Yeah, she's got something.
She got a fucking horseshoe.
It's like a
What
little
is
dog toy. I
Oh, yeah,
think.
she has a dog toy,
That's great.
but I guess it was wrapped
Appropriate.
around a bat. I saw a couple of Boy Scouts on the street the other day down by an ice cream shop with a grown man, all three of them in the Boy Scout uniform.
Mhm.
And I walked by them like 4 times
Mhm.
to try to hear and get a vibe. I was borderline ready to just post up and just make sure this guy's on the up and up.
I think you're the weirdo there.
Yeah,
You're the-
man, you
it's-
always take this
you're
tough Boy Scout stand, but I was
anti-Boy
in the Boy Scouts. My dad was
I
the
would-
leader. My
same.
brother later became a leader.
Thank you, Andy.
Are you
God,
doing a
this
bit?
feels
I'm
good.
not doing a bit. My dad was the leader of the Cub
Same.
Scouts. And then my brother loved it so much when he became 18, he
Yeah.
was a leader of the Cub Scouts.
Ah, it's great to have you on the
I know
podcast.
it does happen, but it's
Uh-huh.
also there's some good
Yeah.
guys.
There's bad guys in that podcast.
I'm gonna assume
you know?
good guy.
So what's the number here?
And also
What's
for the
the
kids to
number?
be in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, you need to have an adult. You can't just let them.
It's not
go
Lord
in
of the Fly
But it
Scouts.
doesn't-
It's just Boy
if
Scouts.
if,
you know?
there's this many people molested, maybe the thing doesn't need to exist.
But it's also
I don't think. I
it's
think
the
that-
problem with.
are you googling like what's the percentage of Cub Scouts that have been molested?
The problem
I
is not
think
with Catholicism. The problem is with the institution of the Catholic Church. It's the same with Boy Scouts. It's
yeah,
not,
those
there's
guys
no
were all
problem with Boy
forced into
Scouts.
being celibate and squashing their sexuality. But these guys all have wives. lives, you know?
What is the thing? So this says there's just a lawsuit. This isn't the total number that had 84,000 victims.
I would guess there's hundreds of thousands, if not a million, Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the number if you go like, hey, we got this thing and there's a million of them and about 100,000 are going to be molested? Don't you think get rid of the thing?
I think you choose any profession, you go teachers, and out of all the teachers, you're going to find 80,000 that molested a kid. I mean, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And there's bad people in everything.
But
Walmarts.
Yeah.
Walmart's probably happens a lot. I think this Boy Scout thing, it seems unnecessary, and they're hiding it. They're moving it around as an organization.
Did no one ask you to be in it? Is that what's happening?
I was in a Cub Scouts.
You were in the Cub
and I got a
Scouts.
weird fucking vibe
Did
from
you-
these old guys.
I'm telling you, it was fun.
Do
We
you not-
shot bow and arrows and
Do the
rode
Pinewood
canoes.
Derby. Make
Did
a little
the
race
Pinewood
car.
Derby. Yeah, went camping all the time. It was fun.
Fish.
You guys
Yeah.
are the lucky ones.
That's why we got those tattoos. Say the Lucky Boys. Now let's shift gears here.
Anti Boy Scouts.
Let's shift gears here to a less hot button issue and on to what is quickly becoming one of the most popular segments on this podcast. It's called "What Would You Do, Guys?" It's hot. It's a hot segment.
Did we talk about this?
It's a hot segment, guys. Now, first, I got to start here. Have you fellas seen the documentary "Searching for Sugarman"?
Yes.
No.
You saw it? No. Andy, it's a great documentary. I just saw it for the first time 2 nights ago. Here's a quick recap.
I've seen Saving Silverman. Is it similar?
Very almost beat for beat remake.
Mhm.
There's a musician in the 70s went by the name Rodriguez. Sixto Rodriguez is his actual name. Put out 2 albums. Both flopped. Huge financial flops here in America. No one knows him. No one's heard of him. Somehow becomes hugely popular, bigger than Elvis in South Africa. Like crazy popular. So the documentary is about these guys in South Africa trying to find Sixto Rodriguez, who they growing up, because they lived in apartheid era South Africa, kind of functioning as a closed society. They had no way to know what had become of him, where he was, is he touring? So the urban legend, what they had heard is that he had killed himself on stage. So the documentary is trying to find out if that had actually happened. Spoiler alert, which still doesn't spoil the documentary because it's great. I knew this going in. He's alive, just living a meager life in Detroit, Michigan. So the documentary follows him. He goes and performs in South Africa for hundreds of thousands of people. He is actually like a huge pop star in South Africa, but lives this very modest life in Detroit. So my what would you do is, let's say your comedy albums, stand-up comedy or Sounds from the Rainforest, don't really do a lot of numbers here in
With
the
you
States.
so far.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
you find out 20 years from now that you are the biggest comedian in the world in a very small country somewhere
Mhm.
else. But you're living you're almost living an impoverished life here. Things have not gone well. You gave up on your dream because it didn't work out in your mind.
Mhm.
But someone comes to you one day and they say, "Hey, you are Elvis Presley over here. Do you
Elvis not that funny.
move to that country, or do you stay living your life?"
No, I don't
where
think
you
I'd
are.
move to that country. I think I'd go do a couple shows every year and then go home and have a nice life at home.
But you don't have a
I
nice
don't
life
even
at
speak South African.
but you don't have a nice life at home. You still have this kind of very
yeah, but can't you go get
modest
I go
life.
do
He's getting
3
paid when he goes
sold-out
there.
stadiums? You know, I make $300,000 per stadium. Now I come home, I got almost $1 million. I get a nice house. The next year I go back.
So this is where it falls apart. In the documentary, they say what he does with his money, because he does what you're describing, is he goes over there and he tours and he does all these shows, but he gives the money away to his friends and family. And he continues living this kind of modest life. So for this scenario to have to work, you don't financially profit where you currently live from going and doing these shows. But when I was watching it, the reason I asked is I kept thinking, why doesn't he go live there? Why doesn't he go live a better life there than trudging through the snow? He's working as like a day laborer, not even like a construction worker. He's going in and just like gutting houses and throwing them away, throwing the shit away. So I'm watching him. Why not go live a more comfortable?
Well, it sounds like this guy likes being
he does
poor.
But that's why I put it to you. You're in his position?
Well, I'm not giving my tour money to all my friends and family.
You keep it.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it.
That's the only thing
I'm
he has
living
to
a nice
do
life.
differently if he wants to
not give away his
not give it away
his money.
And also, it's maybe even better than becoming crazy famous where you live. I mean, now he pops over to South Africa once a year, makes tons of cash, and can live a life where he's not, bothered at restaurants and stuff.
You would go live there, I can tell.
I think I would go live there just because of how I feel like you have to have freshly seen the documentary to see just how modest of
Wearing
a
your
life.
fucking baggy pants.
I'd get some baggy pants. I'd wear
Justin
sunglasses.
Timberlake.
Yeah, get my sunglasses.
How much
on.
do you change and how fast? This is my
if I find out
pivot on what would you rather or whatever the fuck this thing's called. You go there. Do you think you are this guy wearing this Cincinnati hoodies and new shoes all the time, or do you think you kind of become more celebrity version of yourself?
I think when I'm over there, because in this reality, so he was like a young 20, like early 20s musician, like trying to become a rock star, essentially, in the 70s. Very cool, sunglasses, hip looking guy.
Sounds cool.
Fun hats.
Sunglasses,
fun hats. I mean, Andy, close your eyes and picture a cool guy. Need I say more?
Sunglasses, fun hats, shirts with frogs on them.
Exactly.
You like a real cool guy.
Hat, like birds embroidered on the back. So
that laugh just made me hungry. You ever had that happen where you laugh and then when you pull in from the laugh, you're like, damn, I'm hungry.
I can't even meet you halfway to figure out what the fuck you're talking about.
That sounds like a gummy laugh to me. I think it wasn't the laugh. It was.
No, I think I wasn't hungry and then I laughed and then I was hungry.
Never been more confused by something you said.
I'm most clear I've ever been.
I kind of want to treat talking about the Sugar Man guy so much.
Sugar Man. You've probably heard that song, Sugar Man. It's been in stuff. But my point that I was trying to make is, so he was living this kind of like rock star lifestyle in his 20s. Then he failed at doing it and then lived like 40 years just as a guy in Michigan working construction and like moved away. So I think there's a part of me, if I was him, that I would be like, well, I still have that dream. I would kind of want to live what I thought I would like. So I think I would kind of embody maybe that 20s version of myself that I had lost. I think I would try to recapture that.
Do you think if you had that much money, would you be able to be like cool or like have fashion?
Yeah, I'd buy the baggier pants. I'd be cool. Yeah, I'd be fucking.
Would you be able to be stylish?
Cool. I'm already living that stylish.
How much money do you think you'd have to be stylish?
I need like $200 to $300 more than I already have to live the fashion life that I want.
I write you a check right now for $265.
Yeah,
and I put in the memo fashion. Where are you taking that check? What are you buying?
Let's do it. I can't wait to see the podcast.
What are you buying?
I'm going to the mall.
What's the thing you're buying right now that costs $300 that you're talking yourself out of? That it's fashion, it's stylish. I mean,
I'm going to upgrade my shoes, and I'm going to get a sick new jacket, maybe a cool pair of sunglasses.
What kind of shoes you getting?
Don't know, TBD. But
New Balance.
I'm definitely not getting New Balance. I did find a pair of Nikes at a thrift store, and I tried them on.
$300?
$300 at the thrift store. $20 at the thrift store, but they were very worn in, and it felt weird wearing someone else's.
Have you heard the thing that may not exist now, or may never existed? But someone told me years ago that they would buy Nikes at thrift stores and return them because they would have a lifetime warranty. And you would get credit for the amount that shoe costs.
That can't be still true.
Whoa, I've never heard
had
of
a thing with Nike
having a lifetime warranty.
Recently, that is not the same because it's not lifetime. But Everett had a pair of Jordans,
Mhm. Air?
Michael
Oh.
Air Jordans, and the sole just blew out. Like she's
Oh.
just doing normal kid shit. It just separated. There's a blowout in it. I'm annoyed. I take him to the store. The guy's like, "You got to go on the internet." I go on the internet. I get a response. They go, if it, I think they call it a case. It's like if your case is
Case by case
like we're
basis.
kind of in the court of law here. But if it, they're like, if it does go through and it's a thing, we'll give you the same shoe. But if they don't make it anymore, they'll give you the value of what you paid for it before it's on sale or anything. And I just got a little certificate in the mail for $110 or something.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
So I would say,
I thought you had to poop in clothes to get that.
next time, yeah, you don't got shit anything. Next time you find a pair of Nikes in the store, just buy them, see if you can return them,
Send them back.
or Google it before you do that. Maybe.
I will Google it. There used to be, I always heard about Doc Martens, that Doc Martens had a lifetime warranty. And then I bought a pair of Doc Marten boots,
I'd heard
found
the same
out
thing.
no longer the policy.
I bought a pair of those in high school, and in my memory, least comfortable shoes I've ever owned in my life. Couldn't wear them.
I like mine,
Killed my feet.
but mine are not the very like chunky, thick sole. I like
Mine were 3 inches thick sole,
Yeah,
high
I
heeled.
never
Dick size sole?
got them dick shoes. You got them those lifetime warranty dick shoes. Where are they, Andy? They still around?
No. They're gone, man.
Okay.
They're gone.
You got your eye on a specific jacket? Jackets are hard to find.
Yeah, I gotta go kind of look around the
All right.
jacket market.
I saw a
see what's out
jacket
there.
I thought you would want the other day on
I'm listening.
Instagram. It's from one of these companies that make like throwback sports apparel. And it was
Hey,
a gold 49ers jersey.
I think I've seen it.
It looked pretty
It's
cool.
a statement.
It looked pretty cool.
It's loud.
You could do it.
I'll try it.
Give it a shot.
Um,
Believe in yourself. You know.
the other thing is we got a giant tent in the backyard, still up from the sleepover.
I don't even think you can call that a tent. I mean, that's just like an addition to your house. It's huge.
You'll find this out when you help me take it
I've
down.
seen a lot of these in
but,
front of the Whole Foods by my place.
There's no, those poles don't come out. There's a button and they just slide into themselves, and then it collapses and folds up in the
pop-up
center.
tent?
I guess. But,
Just pops out.
I'm
Pretty
about to
cool.
see how it pops down. I feel
How
like
many
it's gonna be
people fit?
complicated.
How many people fit in that tent?
How many people did fit or can fit?
Both numbers.
Did fit 6. Can fit 12.
12 people in there
12.
comfortably.
12 people. They said the 11 comfortably. The 12th person always complains.
That is, it's like 3 tents. It feels like 3 different tents that are all one tent.
It's big. What's
nice.
you guys' what's you guys' memories of tenting out in your backyard? We talked about this a little. I tented out in the backyard a lot as a kid.
I never tented in the backyard, I don't think. I
loved
don't
it.
have a memory
We
of
would
that.
always do it just to go teepee people because it's the easiest way to sneak out.
I think I told you guys this already, maybe on this broadcast program, but I go, hey, when you're on this tent, because there's a gate that it blocks our driveway from the outside world. I go, you can't go out that gate, because I was like, they're gonna be roaming around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I go,
yeah.
you don't go through the gate and you don't go out the front door. When you're in the backyard camping, you are staying in the backyard or you're in the house.
You're hanging in the
Don't go
backyard.
out the gate. And she goes, why would we go out the gate? And I realized, I was like, oh, she's just like a year or two too young to even know that there's a world out there at
Yeah.
night that she could access easily.
Uh-huh.
Didn't even think about it. So
Planted
I
the seed.
felt good about
Watered
that.
it.
I did plant the seed.
Now it's growing.
This is how I was like, very different childhoods, me and this kid. When I was at the grocery store, we did the movie on the projector out here. They watched Clueless is what they picked.
Fun.
And we got a bunch of movie treats. You know, the treats you get at the movies.
Sandwiches.
Yeah, this guy loves the sandwich at a film.
Lasagna.
So I go, anything other than treats? Like, do you want anything other than treats?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, I don't know, like a charcuterie plate. And I was like, oh, fuck. What in the world have I done?
Snooty little LA.
Oh my god, these girls love their pate and caviar on
Unfucking
crisps.
believable she said that.
Sparkling wine.
I like just instantly was like, I'm not getting a charcuterie plate. And because in my mind, I'm like, these kids aren't going to eat it. And then when we got home, I was talking to Heather and I was like, I think these LA kids are gonna tear this fucking charcuterie plate. We have to get it now,
Mhm.
and we did it. And we went to a pool. We did this thing called Resort Pass, where you can just get a cabana at a pool.
Mhm.
So we did the pool. We come back. We're separate cars. I got half of them in my car. We walk in. I just see a bunch of kids hovered over our charcuterie plate. Just as soon as they walked in the door, they go right to it.
These kids do.
What you got
get
on there? I love charcuterie.
I love a
plate.
charcuterie
Yeah.
board too. Here's what I like the meat and the cheese. What I like is that party tray
I like
that's
the
like
seasonal accoutrements.
I like the row of Ritz crackers, the row of pepperoni, the row of salami, and then the row of cheese. You know that charcuterie board.
I know which one you're talking about. That's in the
That's
plastic
a
at the
Ohio
grocery store.
Exactly
You're
right.
you're shopping at an end cap.
Exactly right. That's the kind of charcuterie board I like. I just like meat and cheese, baby.
I hear you just shake it up,
Yeah.
so that way they're already
Just
made
kinda
when
like
you
the
reach in
crackers
there.
get all fucked up. but
Sounds
you
like
can
what you
still-
like a Lunchables, my man.
Yeah, Andy, I do. That's exactly right. Love a Lunchable. I'll fuck up a meat and cheese. Any kind of meat and cheese.
We went full off the rails. It's like it's the birthday, so sugary treats, ice cream cake, yada yada, blah blah. Also, sweet cereals. We're not really a sugary
Ooh.
cereal house, so on
Mm.
birthdays they get sugary cereals. Harper got Cocoa Puffs,
Okay, support
and
it.
I really like that. Haven't
Cocoa
had
Puffs
Mm.
are
They
very
s-
good.
I don't know if it's because I'm bigger now, or they seem
Like grown?
smaller. Yeah, because I haven't had them since I was a kid, but the puffs seem smaller now.
You got to be careful with
I-
those things, man. When I was a kid, a buddy of mine, he went cuckoo
Oh, for the Cocoa Puffs?
for them Cocoa Puffs.
Oh,
Yeah, he-
wow.
Full cuckoo, man. Yeah.
Bit of a bird brain.
Is he all right now?
He did some time in a place for people.
I had a friend do the same thing with cookies.
What?
Crispy, really crispy cookies. Yeah.
Oh, crispy.
Did a little hard time over these little crispy cookies. You guys get it? I was talking about Cookie Crisp.
Cookie
There it
Crisp.
is.
There he is.
They still make Cookie Crisp.
Oh yeah, man.
I think you can buy that as a cereal.
That fits
Or
into.
wait, was that always a cereal?
It's always a cereal.
What's the thing? Oh, not now. There's like
What
a
are
Chips
you-
Ahoy cereal.
Oh, is there?
There's another
I'll
cereal
try it.
that's just cookies.
They're just doing cookies.
Cookie Crisp fits into the if it ain't broke, don't fix it box, Andy. You just keep on, don't fuck with a good thing. Pump it out, baby.
I don't know if they still make Cookie Crisp or not. I don't think I've seen it.
Shout out round the horn, rapid fire style. Just go ahead, shout out your favorite sugary cereal. Just go ahead and do it.
Cocoa Krispies is just. I'm just saying. I'm
Just-
saying. I'm
just-
saying. I'm
just
just saying.
saying?
I have to stick with it.
Andy, what?
I don't know. I haven't had it in a long time. I want to pick a really good one.
We're not
Oh my
gonna get
God,
it
I don't
for
wanna
you.
be a
I
lame
said
one.
rapid
In-
fire.
Unless you say Cocoa Krispies, I don't have, or Cocoa Puffs, I don't have it.
Fruity Pebbles. I like
Fruity Pebbles is good.
Harper, yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, guys.
Oh,
How's
it's
that
better.
left
Damn,
off?
Never
I wish I would've
had
thought
it.
of that one.
What?
Never had it in my life.
You've never had
It's
Cinnamon
really
Toast
good.
Crunch?
Don't talk to me like that.
Shut the podcast down. I don't
That's
want to do it with you anymore. B, we got to go.
I
get
don't
some.
think that's a cereal that you can say that like that about.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I think not everyone has had it.
I think if we're polling, if Family Feud style, put it on the board. How many people? I think it's 90. It's over 90. How many people have had Cinnamon
If
Toast
you
Crunch?
think of if a million people
Unless
had
I'm
cereal,
standing outside of a home school, I think everyone has had Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I think of this the way Andy thinks of the amount of people that were molested in the Boy Scouts. That it's such a
I
small
think it's
number.
similar ratios.
I think if it's 100 people, I think 40 or 50 people have had Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's insane. That's one of the crazier things you've ever said. On
No,
the
it's not.
podcast.
How
It's
can we
over,
find this out?
It's over 50.
No
for
way.
Sure, it's
We
over
got to do an
50.
Instagram poll.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We have to do an Instagram
You're saying
poll.
over 50% of cereal eaters have had Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Of cereal eaters, it's maybe 100%.
No.
No one's fucking around with cereal and then skipping Cinnamon Toast
I
Crunch.
did it.
Unless you have an allergy, which I'll give you a pass.
To
Unless you got
what?
a crunch allergy, I'm giving you a pass. But I think everyone has had Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The wild. It's the best cereal.
I think you're crazy.
No, crazy
I
for
think you
Cinnamon Toast
also think
Crunch.
everyone's had your mom's lasagna.
They should give it a try. Here's my thing that I don't think enough people have had is waffle crisp. You ever had waffle crisp?
I think I did have waffle crisp. Yeah.
Woo!
I think
Real
it's about
syrupy
Crisp.
taste.
half the people that have
Yeah.
had Cinnamon Toast Crunch, maybe more, have had waffle crisps.
No,
and we're talking
no.
about a low number.
Low percentage.
Yeah, I don't think waffle crisp were around very long either.
I haven't.
It's not.
I think I've had to have told the story at some point to both of you, maybe on this podcast. But every time I think of cereal, I think of Cocoa Krispies
Mhm.
because my dad. One time I was at his house in Florida, and I was trying. I was at one point I was about to cover, but then I was like, well, he's dead now, so I think it's all fine. But his best friend's wife was in his bedroom. Have I told you this story?
His best friend's wife was in his bedroom.
And then she
Bible
talking
study.
Snap, Crackle, or Pop. Which one was it?
So she comes out and sits down on the couch next to me, and she goes, "I want to make love to your father, but he wants to make sure you're okay with it first."
Oh,
So
nice. He had her ask you.
yeah. So
How
With-
old are you at the right?
probably 9 years old, maybe
Okay,
10,
cool,
maybe 10.
Cool.
So without hesitating, I go, I want a McDonald's #2, a Jeff Foxworthy tape, and Cocoa Krispies. And as I look back as an adult, I was like, it's probably very weird that I instantly saw that as an opportunity. Like-
If you're dad's lovers, ask if you mind you make love.
If Jeff Foxworthy
And
isn't
you
listening to
pick
this podcast by now,
McDonald's #2. My tape.
but she brought back, which I love, that was 3 different places. Not one place sells all 3 of
Yeah,
those
she had to
items.
make multiple
So
trips.
she came back, and I remember she dropped all the shit off, and I ate the McDonald's, and then I was in there. I'm just like, nobody's minding the store right now. So I got like a big popcorn-like bowl
Mhm.
and filled it with Cocoa Krispies, and then put chocolate milk over it,
Yeah.
and just sat in front of the TV
That's what
while
you
my
wanna do.
dad was.
Both the Johnagin men had a pretty good afternoon.
Everybody wins there. Everybody wins.
Yeah, it was like we were running a grift the way it worked out.
Uh-huh.
Like he just has ladies come over, and I'm kind of the pimp, or I got a lot out of it.
You're wearing a bunch of rings, a feathered hat.
Just a bunch of Jeff Foxworthy tapes.
Yeah.
You want the one where he cusses?
Andy, you had stepdaughters there for a hot minute. I mean,
Oh,
did
yeah, I
you
did,
you
yeah.
do the same thing? I imagine. Then you sit them down. You say, "Hey, love to get your permission real quick."
No, that it never happened that way.
All right. Yeah.
Well, my dad was a good dad.
Yeah.
You got to get everybody's clearance.
Been making a lot of trips then, my man. Andy, how was Blue Ridge Mountain Mama? I forget where you were, but you were on a boat. That's all I know.
I was on a boat. It was very fun. I packed a lot of activities into a short trip in the Blue Ridge Mountains and Bristol, Tennessee.
Booked them pre, or when you got there, people said stuff,
I
and you
got
said
there
yes?
and people are like, you got to see the Bristol Caverns.
Okay.
So I just hopped on over to the Bristol Caverns early Saturday morning.
Pretty cavernous.
It was cavernous. You know what was wild about it? It was a cave tour, and it was just me and this older couple. I would guess in their 80s, if not 90s.
Guess we're not fucking now.
And we're in
Wow.
this cave, man. And we got a tour guide, maybe 20 years old, maybe not even 20 years old, maybe a 19-year-old tour guide.
The kid from The Simpsons voice.
Yeah, and this older couple, they're old, man. They're
Mhm.
real old, and this guy is not walking at a pace that you walk when you got 80-year-olds in tow. So he's like ahead to the point we can't see him anymore.
The acoustics
And I'm
are
just
incredible.
staying with these
Oh, that's
old folks because I don't want them to get lost in a cave.
They're lagging back, and
Yeah.
you're the third wheel here.
They're trying to
That's
get high.
exactly
You're
what
just-
it was like.
Yeah.
Johnny
there
Cop
was a
back
point
here.
where like you had to walk down
look
some
like a cop.
steps to get to the deep caverns. You walk down some steps, and he addressed the 3 of us together. He goes, "All right, if any of the 3 of you feel like you can't climb back up these steps, you should not go down these steps because there's no way to get you out once you're down there. I'm sure not carrying you."
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, "Oh, I think he's talking about me. Do you
Uh-huh.
think he's talking about me or the 2 people with canes behind me?" But they made it out. I could have hefted them out of there. I think I could have handled it. One beef with the cave tour. There was a part of the cave tour. They're like, we can't go on it because the lights are out. And
It's a cave.
I just felt like it's a cave.
Can't go in the cave because it's a cave today.
I got a flashlight on my phone. Let me go check out that other
Yeah.
part.
Now,
No, lights are out.
Andy, when you left the cave and you called Tori to tell her what you had done, did you say that you had just gone spelunking?
No, I didn't say
You
that.
said you went on a cave
I
tour.
don't think you can call it spelunking if there's like a paved trail with lights the whole way through.
I think you spelunks,
It's
my man.
not like
Give
it's not
yourself
an
some cred.
adventurous.
This guy had a freckle taken off and called it a surgery. So
It was a surgery. I
He's
had
not afraid to
I
exaggerate.
had a dermatologist who listens to the podcast reach out and confirm what I had done was a surgery. In fact, a surgery. Unbelievable.
You know what? Backyard Hang fans in Bristol, Tennessee.
I saw that.
Yeah, interesting. One guy
Oh.
took a photo because he's a Backyard Hang fan, and then the other night, Friday night, I just mentioned the podcast. Crowd erupted in applause. I was
Hey.
like, "All of you guys listen?"
All right, baby.
love Bristol, Tennessee.
Love some more people to watch.
So
these
it was a
reels.
blast. And then I went on.
Is the club nice?
And the club's nice.
Can we
Is it
They're
owned
talk
about
by
to
a
move
comic?
to a new yeah, it's owned by a comic.
It's probably
before
great.
we get into the
Oh,
boat
my
part,
comic.
which I do want
Owned
to
by
talk
a comic
about?
who shares a unique characteristic with a few other comics we know. His name, Sean Carter.
I know.
Oh, the party starter.
Oh, that's Darren
It's
Carter.
Darren Carter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking of Sean Carter, Jay-Z.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of
yeah.
comics with famous people names.
Uh-huh. Now, can
He's
we-
lucky Jay-Z changed his name.
Yeah. Or he would have had to change it. He'd been.
Well, they took me on a boat ride, and it was
Shut up!
beautiful.
Shut up! Before you get to the boat, can I talk about
Yeah.
how?
Can I tell you how fun this boat was?
No.
It was a pontoon.
Why do you
We're
keep
zipping
not
around.
wanting
Can
to
we-
talk about
we
the
were
I
with
boat?
want to
their
talk
dog?
about how he sent us a picture, and he was like, "Doesn't this look like our other friend?"
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Exactly like you, which was insane.
You know, that picture did look a lot like me, but if you talk to this guy from the front, he has like the coloring of meat. And so I was like, this guy kind of looks
The
like
coloring
me.
of meat is
And then
not what
I
you want to
snapped
hear.
the photo, and the photo did look a lot like
Well, here's
I,
the
I
thing.
will
So
say that, yeah.
Alex and I get a text from Andy,
Yeah.
and he says, "How much does this guy look like meat? Or should I tell this guy? Or should I tell whatever?" And he says, "It looks like meat." A friend of ours goes by the name Meat.
Yep.
And then we get the picture. It looks exactly like Andy to the point I thought it was a picture of Andy.
Yeah.
The guy even stands like him.
I thought it was Andy before I even saw your response that said, "This looks exactly like you." It looked exactly like you, my man.
Yeah, you're right. It did. I mean, I looked at the photo after I sent it. I was like, oh, I think he
Drop that
kinda
in.
looks like me.
Can you drop it in?
I could drop. Well, it's of somebody else. I kind of feel weird.
the
Oh,
photo
don't
in.
drop it in. Drop in a picture of Andy. It looks like this.
All right. All right. Now tell us about the boat. I do want to hear.
Oh,
Don't
and
tell
him
him
and
about
his
the
wife
boat.
took us on a
You
boat
wanna
ride.
know
I
you
want to
tell.
hear about the
I don't
boat.
think he
His wife
deserves
took
to
us on
hear
a boat
about it.
ride.
It
It was
was pontoon.
lovely.
Was it pontoon?
There's a pontoon. There's a beautiful lake
I
there.
love a
and,
pontoon.
it was great.
Would you live there?
That's a fun question because there was these giant homes on the lake, and I texted
Oh,
my queen. You know, I was like,
yeah, Tori.
"You can have your pick of any of these houses, but we have to live in Tennessee. Would
Yeah.
you do it?"
What'd you say?
She said no.
Really?
Is she opposed to living on a
Yeah.
lake? 'Cause she's big. I want to live on the ocean. Would she live on a lake, which is like a
I think she
smaller ocean?
would live on a lake, but she didn't want to live in Tennessee.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did you
She
tell
said
that
she didn't want to live in the South. And I said, this is not the South, this is Appalachia.
Yes, Appalachia, baby.
Uh,
Did you tell her that she was the only 10 you saw?
No, I didn't say
Okay,
that.
okay.
I didn't
Just think
say
about it
that
next
either.
time. That might have pushed her over the edge. She might have
Yeah.
went.
Would you think you could? Would you move to Tennessee? There's lots of
Tennessee's
upside to it. They
beautiful.
like have a big house with a
I've
yard.
been
I
there.
mean, there's lots of fun to be
it
had.
sucks that you
Yeah.
have to. It's if we're talking like real life. There's like certain states that you just can't think about anymore because there's like eliminating women's rights
Mhm.
or rights for other. It's like that type of thing. Aside from it, East Tennessee is one of the most beautiful places in the country, if not maybe my favorite.
And
Like
you,
that East Tennessee on a lake.
Mhm.
you were saying some pretty off-color
This
things about
lake's
West
beautiful.
Tennessee before we started rolling.
West Tennessee
Yeah. Yeah, not great.
North
The lake's
Carolina
cool because
too.
it's like up in the mountain.
Yeah,
Like you got to drive up the mountain to get to the lake.
that's
was
where
awesome.
part of my family lives in. There's a beautiful lake, but you're in the mountains, and like when you look out, that you just see the green rolling hills that look like boobs if you put two of them together.
Oh. Pinch the tops, have a little fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd live in Tennessee. But I also acknowledge what Tommy said of that. It's a very easy question to answer when you're just a straight white guy. You'd be like, I live anywhere.
Yeah.
But
There's Montana, which is very expensive in a lot of places now. That's like another place that you go, man, I could just kind of little cabin
Anywhere
out
just
Settle
here.
in
out in
here.
the woods, would think I could be real happy.
My buddy just got a place in New York, a couple of hours outside
City?
of the city. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Not that it matters, but it's one of those places where you're like 2 hours, 3 hours out of New York, but you're in the middle of the green.
Finger Lakes,
I don't know about that.
the Borscht Belt.
Is the Borscht Belt real?
The Borscht Belt's real.
It's like a comedy. I've heard it in comedy. So I
The
didn't know.
Catskills. Now, here's what I've been thinking about recently. If my whole life blew up tomorrow,
I think about
I'm on my own. No dog, no woman, no, prospects of anything. Here's what I think I do. I think I sell my car. I clear out all of my 2 bank accounts. I get a van.
That's like a week-long process just to get around to all these institutions.
With Banks' coffee shop.
I'm living.
You got to go to Palm Springs to get the meeting.
It's true. But I think I take all that, take the money from the car, take the money from the banks. I buy one of these vans. I'm just driving around. I'm living that van life.
Oh, you would live
You would go van life?
I'd go van life.
I would go tiny home.
Just me, but then you're just in one spot. It's just me. I'm untethered.
I don't need to be in other spots.
You just got one spot. You're just going to sit in that tiny house.
I think about when it all blows up, I find a little spot, and I've looked in Montana my whole adult life. That has been the place where I find just like a very small, in the middle of nowhere, Montana. I always think I'll work at a diner maybe because of my restaurant experience.
Yep.
You go to a place in Montana,
mm-hmm.
in the town of 1,000 people,
1,000,
and you go, listen here. I worked at Applebee's for 3 years. You're gonna be manager pretty quick. It doesn't matter when it was.
Just
that stuff's gonna come back to me like that.
Like riding a bike. Old shoe.
You got the LinkedIn profile ready to go with all the Applebee's experience?
I think I could do well as a server. At this age, I think what would happen is I would go until one thing went wrong, and I just lose it on a customer.
Yeah,
and then I just have to go. So maybe I do need to live that van life.
You got to get a van
based on getting fired from a bunch of restaurants.
Go town to town.
You caused a scene in a restaurant in a town of 1,000 people. You have to move.
People know about it. You got to get out. You got to go to a different town of 1,000 people. Pretty far away from that other town.
Would you go van life or tiny home?
No, I would definitely do tiny home, and it would be in a mountain, like a wooded mountain area. I wouldn't like van. I don't think I would like it.
We go tiny. Why? What would you?
I'd always be like stressed. Like, where should I go? I like to just.
Well,
be
that's
home
the thing. You can go anywhere.
Relax.
Go literally anywhere.
See, it's too many options. It's like Baskin Robbins. What am I doing? I can only get one.
Now, when we say tiny home, are we talking tiny home? Or are we talking one of these prefab? It's like a 1-bedroom apartment, pretty big situations.
Yeah, pretty big.
Pretty big.
Yeah, I want a mansion.
What I'm saying, tiny home.
Yeah, why not a nice house? Actually, now that we're just
you're the ones that you both threw out tiny home.
I'll do that on Zillow because in the scenario it's like everything has gone pretty bad.
Yeah,
and I go, I don't got a lot of money to throw around, so I'll go to a place. I'll start looking at what's the cheapest that I can just buy. If I can pull up enough and I can just buy this house for $30,000 in this town.
Yeah.
Then I'm just clicking through, and the next thing I know, I've found a $1.6 million ranch, and I'm like, well, I can't do that.
Now I got to figure out a way to red paperclip my way up to this thing. Get into this sick house.
You can't get the little one now. Where are you going to put all the cows?
Here's what I will tell you. I did look into these vans, these nice vans. They are way more expensive than you think that they are going to be.
Yeah, you got to go shitty van.
I would have to go shitty van. I'd be driving around in a real shitty van. But the other thing,
there's no way. I say no way. But if I'm choosing between tiny home and van, you're getting traveling and the ability to commit crimes and leave is what I feel like you're saying. What I'm getting is a shower. I think that's the exchange.
The shower. One of my neighbors, she used to live in a van. Did I ever tell you guys that? Did I ever tell you? Yeah, I reconciled with the woman who when I first moved in. I first moved in my apartment. There was a van in the parking lot, and my neighbor was like, "There's this creepy guy living in a van in the parking lot. I'm calling right now to get him towed out of there. We can't be having this homeless guy living in this van." You remember this story?
No.
And then I go out there because I hear the engine start, and I'm ready to tell a guy off because I just moved into this place, and I'm with this woman that I'm newly living with. I want her to show her that, like, hey, you're safe because I'm going to go confront this creep that's living in this van.
Listen to my dad.
And I go out there, and it's this really pretty young lady.
I'm listening.
And I go, hey, you can't park your van here. And she's like, well, and I go, yeah, you're going to get towed. And she's like, what? And I go, they already, I mean, you would be towed right now, but when you call the towing company, this all got explained to me from the neighbor. When you call the towing company, we can't call the towing. We have to call the management company, and they call the towing company. So like, your car's gonna get towed. You park here, and then I walk away. She leaves, and then like a couple days later, I see her again. She's like, she lives there. She lives in the building. She lives in the building. She lives in the. I mean, she wasn't supposed to be in that spot, but she does live in the building with her boyfriend.
Uncomfortable.
And so for like years,
Awkward.
I feel like I have not had a good relationship. Like I feel like she's always giving me the stink.
What do you
eye
think
and
it
stuff.
was? Like, what do you think it? What happened?
What do you think?
Because
you
I
did
seem like
something?
a guy that was out here like, hey, get out of this parking spot.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she just like.
I think we understand. I think we were just joking.
She lives in anyway. So I've always like assumed she gave me the stink eye all over the building every time I run into her. Barely says hi, and then she's out drinking with other people that live in the.
Did you tell her you can't drink out here?
Yeah, I was like, you can't drink out here. I go out, I grab a beer, and I go out and sit down, and just like, you guys mind if I hang out for a minute?
Wow.
And then I'm just hanging out with the neighbors for a minute, and then I'm like, I got to tell you something. I've been carrying this around for like 2 years. I've felt so guilty because I came out and told you couldn't park there, and then it turned out you live here. And then, of course, like, please, you're going in and out. Have your van there.
Mm-hmm.
And she did pretended like she didn't even remember it.
She remembered.
And
yeah.
everything was fine. But she told me she was living in the van for a long time, and she would sometimes just poop wherever.
Like on the ground?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
you gotta go.
That's what you got to do, buddy.
Yeah, I'll poop
So
on the ground.
that's why I brought it up, because that's what you'll be doing.
I'll poop on the ground.
Also, how gross is it? You walk around and you see poops, and you're like, I hate people don't pick up after the dog. To know that some of them are people living in vans.
I do think about that. Sometimes I see like huge shits on the ground. I'm like, that was either a big dog, the biggest coyote I've ever seen, or someone took a shit here. And now I know that these van people are just
Sometimes
taking
it's sometimes a van.
There's a
person.
guy lives in the building right next to our building. It's the back, like the house on the corner has two back
What's
houses.
the
They're
address?
single units. I'll tell you off air. Single units that he rents out, and one came up for rent recently. Got rented out by a guy who also lives in a $150,000 Mercedes Sprinter van that's
Wow.
like fully decked out. And I was like, I can't believe you even have a place. But he put down roots at a little apartment, so he's got like an actual physical address, and then this crazy van that he just drives around in. I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen him in a
He's
minute.
out in the van.
I'm not living that
I
van.
could do a
life.
nice Sprinter.
I'd live in a Sprinter van,
For
but
a
that's
trip.
I'm saying those are expensive, very expensive, and like that's just to get in to get the van, and you're just getting the van. But then to get it to where it's like an Instagram, you're pulling beds out of the walls. You got an espresso machine in there. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar in bidets. You got a bidet in there. It's just a hose, just a hose you put your thumb over.
I feel like, I mean, you'd have to really put me in a bad location for me to go, I'll take a no shower, no toilet.
Well, we have a friend who lived in a van doing comedy. A friend of the pod, Josh Cox.
Where are you taking this one, bud?
Well, I wasn't going to take
What else
it.
he do in that van?
I wasn't going to take it all the way, but I was going to say what he did was he had a gym membership.
Oh, no.
What he did.
And he would shower, shit, and all that in gyms around because there was always a gym in wherever he would go.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Why
There
not?
was a Jim. There was a Daniel.
Are you guys gym showerers?
I've never showered at it.
I don't like it, but I will. I mean, depending on what I'm doing right after the gym.
I've also
If I'm
never.
going right back to my place, I go back to my place. But I mean, there's sometimes.
I've never been a member
like-
of a gym to be like, should I shower at?
I'll
a
shower
gym?
at a place where you get like a massage.
Mm.
Because someone may touch my butthole.
You're covered in
Um,
cum.
To get the cum off your stomach.
We did it.
I didn't even think about that.
Tommy, you remember that time?
Go ahead. I gotta. Was there? Is this
Remember
real?
that time that we were in Chicago and like but maybe this
I don't know
isn't
where this
even
is
something
going
for
even.
the podcast. We were with another friend of ours, and it was like, hey, this is a massage place, and we heard that they do like
Oh yeah.
rub and tugs.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's go get one. And then they wouldn't give us massages, and we decided they thought that we were cops.
Yeah.
They just refused to even like we don't do anything
No,
here. They wouldn't-
available.
Yeah.
Then I hung back, and I was like,
Take a second lap without my cop friend.
I go, what's going on? I keep asking questions. I was like, well, I just, there's nothing, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I'm going back and forth, and I go, just, can I get a card just to maybe call for an appointment when you have something available? And she gives me the card, and I still remember this. I just tapped it on the counter. I was like, I'll be in touch. And as I left, I was like, that's the fucking most cop thing. I was like trying to still be like, can we make appointments, and going back and forth. And then even the tap, I don't know why I still remember it, but it's like, I'll be in touch.
Whispered into your collar as you're walking.
Sounds like
off.
you're trying to just give her a fear for the next month.
Yeah,
that
I
she
didn't
was
mean
about
to
get
ruin her
busted.
day.
Which car is yours out back? Well, that's a podcast, everybody.
All right. What's your tour dates?
Me and Alex are going to be in Arkansas and Kansas City coming up October.
Little Rock?
No.
Oh.
Fayetteville, Arkansas,
Mhm.
and Kansas City. Is it Kansas City?
Kansas City. It's Kansas City.
And Kansas City, Kansas, or Missouri. Kansas
Mhm.
City, Kansas.
We'll work out the details.
Same airport.
We're going to be there. All the details are on my website, andywoodhull.com. You can get tickets there. It's going to be great. It's 2 little theaters. Going to be awesome shows. Come from miles around. Say you heard us on the Backyard Hang, and we'll get a photo with you.
Alex's website?
Yeah, get on my
I
website.
like fatboys.com. Why? Why? I don't even know why. I don't know your website.
So you took a stab?
It's alexstonecomedy.com.
I
a
knew
wild
I knew
guess.
somewhere. Yeah.
Alex
All right.
Stone Comedy.
My website's been overrun by hackers. It's like it's crazy, like European.
You got the weird domain though.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to get it back. I don't even know if it's still live.
Don't go to his website.
Don't click on anything.
Why did it go
You're
that
better
way?
off going to I Love Fat Boys than going to my website.
See it.
All right, bye. Bye.